there's one thing we know about this unusual presidential race. It's that both presidential candidates have already faced a truckload of flaps that don't seem to stick to them, at least not the way they would stick to normal previous nominees. We talked earlier in the program about Bill Clinton's tarmac conversation with Attorney General Loretta Lynch, but that is just one of a covey of negative storylines the Clinton campaign has been dealing with in the recent past. In case you haven't been keeping careful track, we've got you covered.
Clinton. Controversies? Here's what happened. Benghazi investigation. Ongoing. House Committee issues report. Private email server investigation. Also ongoing. Top Clinton aide Huma Abedin deposed. Said boss's private email server got in the way of work. Enough so that Abedin was, quote, frustrated. Amid all this, Bill Clinton, Attorney General Loretta Lynch, and that meeting in Phoenix. Coincidental, but private. Looks bad. Lynch said it was just social. Finally, according to The Hill, Priorities USA, Super PAC, pro-Clinton, received $2,000 in banned donations. Clinton's campaign declined to comment.
So both Clinton and Trump would argue that they're hounded and all these flaps become huge controversies. But the reality is most of these are not sticking. So going forward, what does it take, what will it take for a flap like these to actually stick to Clinton and dominate her day in a negative way?
Man, we mentioned before, obviously if she got indicted, if one of the people around her got indicted, if the Justice Department or the FBI came out and said that her server had been hacked and that classified material had been exposed to foreign hackers, those would obviously break through. I think, there's the whole mass of things. The press, anything that relates to the Clinton Foundation, something like where there's some clear link between dollars and something that she did as Secretary of State, I think those could break through. But the bar is pretty high because people have pretty coarse hides when it comes to Clinton scandals.
And the kind of kabuki of what happens, a news organization gets some opposition research, they run the story, right. Republicans say it's the worst thing that's ever happened in the history of Western civilization. The Democrats all circle the wagons. The Clinton campaign does their various attack backs. So I think the bar is pretty high. I think the Benghazi hearings failed because they were totally partisan. This thing today with Bill Clinton and Loretta Lynch, you had Chris Coons, David Axelrod, a few people being critical.
Right.
To me, that's an essential ingredient if something's going to stick to her, yes. That Democrats think it's problematic.
Well, and look, let's not underestimate the extent to which these things have stuck to her in a long-term way.
No question.
Her honest and trustworthy numbers are horrible, horrible. This last CBS poll had her at close to 70% of people saying they don't think she's honest and trustworthy, and she's trailing Trump on that metric. That is all about the accumulated weight of these things.
Not one of the things we just talked about have dominated television.
I agree with that.
And that's surprising.
Yep. But there's still a dead weight thing going on. Anyway, let's talk about Trump. So Trump is, of course, no stranger to scandals, pseudo-scandals, quasi-scandals. His team is facing a trifecta of unflattering stories this week on his business seminars, his charitable giving, and on soliciting foreign donations. Once again, we will catch you right up.
Donald Trump headlines, the bad ones. Here's what happened. Charity. Trump says he gave millions. The Washington Post says, no, not really.
He hasn't given his own foundation since 2008 any money.
As far as we can tell, yes.
Emails. Campaign finance watchdogs say Trump's campaign solicited donations from foreign nationals. One accusation comes from Paul Ryan. Not that Paul Ryan, that Paul Ryan, who says it is a no-brainer that it violates the law to send fundraising emails to members of a foreign government on their official foreign government email accounts. And yet, that's exactly what Trump has done, repeatedly. Trump Institute. Ever heard of it? No, you're thinking of Trump University. Different venture, similar controversy.
It's a great place to meet people, and they're sort of like you. They're smart, they're intelligent. In some cases, they're beautiful or good looking.
According to the New York Times, Trump lends his name to a seminar series with a steep price tag. That, according to the reporting, lifted at least 20 pages of its teaching materials from an obscure magazine published in 1995.
Here's Johnny.
And finally, 2008. Trump got good press when he pledged to save Ed McMahon from foreclosure. But, according to the Bloomberg reporter on this story, that didn't really happen.
That didn't really happen.
Trump didn't end up buying the house. Some other rich guy did. Still, Trump takes credit. He brought attention to the dilemma, and McMahon never lost his home.
So, Mark, I ask you, just doing our little flip around here, a lot of scandals, a lot of things about Trump, there are controversies, like some stick, some don't. What's the bar for him for things really breaking through?
As much as I think the Clinton campaign should be grateful that things don't stick as much as they used to, I can understand their frustration. They plant a story, it would appear, with the New York Times front page about Trump Institute.
Right.
I haven't seen it anywhere on television
Right,
today. People
right.
aren't talking about it. That story has got a million hooks, a million angles. It's got that video.
It's got plagiarism, out front plagiarism.
And profiteering
Yeah,
and aggrieved
right,
real
right.
people. Almost no pickup. So I can't tell you what it would take. Donald Trump, same when he was running the Republican process, just stuff does not stick to him. Press is to blame for some of it. Voters, whatever. But man, the bar, I couldn't even tell you what the bar is. Donald Trump himself said it best. He could go on Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody, and it wouldn't necessarily cost him with the voters.
Well, I don't think that's necessarily true.
He did say it best.
Yeah.